All right, everyone, if you didn't know, welcome back to the During Business Hours. My name's Christopher,
And I'm Eric.
and today we're going to be talking about various forms of disappointment, whether that's in business, personal life, expectations, customers. Oof. What are some forms of disappointment that you experience here in this business?
I find it disappointing working real hard on something, fixing it, and they're like, never mind, I don't want to pay.
I think we've touched on this before, is the wavering customer. That's what we called it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the wavering customer can be, I don't know if I want to check it in, but this is also one of the reasons why we take a minimum charge. Like I was saying before, I think it's been 7 years at this location. The first year we never chose to charge a diagnostic. And back then I kept a lot better records of labor hours because I was the only one doing it. So I was like, here, I wasted 5 hours here, wasted 4 hours there. 10 hours today, no payment. 14 hours this week, no payment. So we moved to the model of minimum labor charges. And from there, the 2017 year, we made $16,000 in labor charges that were write-offs. Pure labor, minimum payments, diagnostics, check-in, bench fees. But in 2016, we had a lot of that, I don't know, do you want to get paid, or like, do I have to pay for this even though it didn't work? And I'm like, tips are appreciated. You know how much money I made in tips in 2016? Roughly $2,000. Roughly. So still something, but
People sliding you a five, feeling bad.
about $180 a month. That's like $20 a day. Not even. It's 100 days at $20 a day. So every 3 days I'd get a tip. That's crazy. The expectation to customers is set directly during check-in, whether it's our CSR, Andrew, yourself, or me. Here's how long this is going to take. Here's what we're going to do for you. Here's what we're going to try. We are not experts in everything. We say we'll fix anything with a power button. It's not like we can fix everything with a power button, but we can tear it down and find out the issue for you. Now, if we can fix it, we'll do it in-house, and we're pretty cheap usually. But then the wavering customer doesn't care whether you're cheap or expensive. They only care if it's convenient to them. So then there's that disappointment when they're like, spending $200 on a $1,000 item. I can finance it for $50. Oh, I'm going to go do that. That's what pisses me off. That's the wavering customer for you. And I think it's disappointing not getting some of those people to pay, or they'll abandon their device. But on the other hand, there are people like, I think an 13 Pro Max checked in for an iCloud removal, claimed it was his, had a purchase receipt, whatever. We offered, okay, we can send it through Apple. Doesn't want to because it's the ex-girlfriend's iCloud that's on there. So he thinks he can't get rid of it. Well, in fact, he can, but he doesn't want to go through Apple. Kind of sketchy. Says he has the purchase receipt. So I'm thinking he doesn't, but then he's like, oh, you know what? Why don't you guys just buy it back from me? So we have a minimum attempt fee. We pay somebody $20 to try. We take $20 for our time. And then if we buy it from him, we're going to pay him $50 for a 13 Pro Max. That's quite valuable.
Yeah.
In parts, not the serialized parts, but screen, battery, logic board for things. And I think what's the net we'll make on that? About $450.
I think that's about what we would make on average.
Yeah.
Could be a little more, could be a little less.
With parting it out and doing everything like that. Did you ever call Rob or message Rob about it?
Your Facebook doesn't like my computer.
It doesn't like
every password I log in, it tells me, oh, you have to reset your password, or it goes, you've reached an error.
It's Facebook and YouTube lately. It's quite interesting. The go backs, right? We have a lot of customers that will be like, hey, my normal guy, or I went here first and you guys were cheaper, let's try it out. They'll come in, they'll say they want to have something repaired, and then they change their mind, like they called somewhere else who would do it even cheaper. And then they'll stop what you're doing. Now this is where it gets interesting, because you've charged the $30 and you've gotten approval for the $150. So you could say you completed it, well, we've already done all this work, we'll just bill you the labor, which if we've already done the work, we're going to bill the labor on top of the diagnostic. Now, if not, And then that leaves it in the customer's hands whether they want to make a stink of it or, argue for whatever reason. But from there, usually they'll proceed with the repair. The disappointment becomes when they just never pick it up. Then we have to lien it, and then it's ours after 45 days. On the rare occasion, though, we will get a customer post-lien that contacts us right when we lien it, say, hey, we now own this. Do you want to sell it or buy it back from us? Because now that we've gone 45 days without payment, it's not that you owe just the minimum balance of your repair. We went 45 days, no contact, no response, dodging us for payments, dodging us calls, dodging our letters, our emails. We're going to make something extra on this. It's the labor, it's the time. That's how California works.
Yeah.
Really bad with self-defense rights. Really good with lien and seizure rights. Very clear. I now own this. I can sell it back to you for whatever I deem necessary. Similar to the 12 Pro Max I had taken home the other day. Customer, as soon as I brought it back that day, I wiped all her data, put it onto a computer. Bada bing, bada boom. She calls, says, hey, I want it back. I'm like, okay. If you would like to have it back, go ahead and come in. And what was the bill? Like $250 originally.
It was like
$250 for a screen remaining. She had put the $30 diagnostic in. The diagnostic doesn't hold you to, your device being here 6 months. That's our minimum labor charge, like we say. From there, this was the most anti-disappointing thing I've seen all year. She was like, okay, what do you want for it? I paid $2,000 for that device. I need it back. I'm like, okay, it'll be $550. It's in the case. Do you want me to hold it for you? Mom comes in right away, puts $200 down, says she'll be back Friday. Says I can't come Friday. I'm like, well, Friday is your 60 days, so then you'll have another $30 charge. I don't care. I'll pay you $100. I just need it. I'm like, okay, great. So if you come in on Monday, which was, she came in, I think, Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, pays the other $400 and something. Bada bing, bada boom. Easiest thing. But then you get customers that come 6 months after their shit's abandoned, after they cancel the repair. They still owe us a balance, so that's already gone to collections. That's a way you can also mitigate your risk on that disappointment there. Get a collections agency to hassle them. But if they're 6 months in, you have 6 months and you have contacted them and you have 6 months of storage fees. We charge $30 a month for undersize, $50 a month for oversize. Like we have an 80-inch TV right now the customer won't call us back about.
Yeah.
You're already at 2 months, so you owe us $100 in storage. We are not a self-storage. We are not somewhere like, what's the TikTok where the guy goes to get a $100 loan on his Lamborghini? Where else can you park your Lamborghini in New York for 30 days?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
He goes in, guy asks for a loan for $100. He puts up the collateral of the Lamborghini, says, hey, I just need a $100 loan against this. All right, you have 60 days, sir. Comes in after 30 days from vacation, whatever, has a tan. Says, all right, I'm going to pick it up. $103. That's what he owes.
Yeah.
And technically, for $3.75, he got to park his car for a whole month, which is crazy.
Just, around here it's $4.50.
Not for a month. Yeah, an hour. $25 for 2 days at the where they charged us $50 because we were just over 2 days and like 5 minutes at the airport for my Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, and then the drama with the Tesla yesterday is super hilarious. But other forms of disappointment, what would that be? Customers changing their mind, recovery.
Same thing, but a little different is people saying they'll do one thing and then not doing another. Or
Employees.
yeah, employees.
Follow through on employees is ridiculous. I think it's the most ridiculous thing in 2021. So 2020, we started off the year, minimum wage was like $14. Great. We upped that. Everyone was making 15 or more. And then we implemented the restructuring when we started losing people who wanted, not to work or COVID, things like that. We restructured. We're like $16 minimum when you're hired, plus commissions. Literally always. You get somebody who's hired new, 60 days or 30, 60, 90. By 90 days, they're up to what most techs are doing anyway. So we're like, all right, great. The fun part is when they get this how would you say, this motivation to do the exact same thing every day, and then they get sick and tired of it within weeks, not months, not years.
They want the schedule, and then they have a schedule, and now they need variety.
Exactly. And then they're like, well, I can't. Their first week, they're like, I can't work 2 weeks this month or 4 weeks that month. And I'm like, I've been very bendy for people. All right, we need new people. I'll give you that week. You can do this, you can do that. Or the people that hit you for, this is working out, but I just don't like the schedule. Like, what do you mean? The schedule is 5 hours a day. If you can't do 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, you shouldn't work. You should file for Social Security. That's unfortunate.
Because at that point, that's like disability level. I have a friend who's only allowed to work 4 hours a day.
Because he's disabled.
Yeah.
There's a difference to wanting to work or needing to work and being able and willing to work.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big...
If you're able to do work but unwilling, I don't know what you're going to do. If you're unable to do those hours, see a doctor. Get some help.
I think we hired a guy, what was it, not even 3 days ago, the guy Loco, Antonio.
Yeah.
And he's like a mechanic or of some sort before, somewhat decent in the patience.
T-Mobile for 5 years and then mechanic 3 years or whatever.
Yeah, so he had customer service skills. We needed that. We're like, yeah, let's get you trained on some phones. Here, not even a day. 1 day. Yeah, I love it. It's great. Blah, blah, blah. Here's your schedule. Here's what it is. Here's all your info. Boom, just disappeared. And that happens often. People just don't like it. I don't know. You got the gurus and all the fake people online. Oh, your shit's too complex, whatever. This is the most least complex business in the world. Hey, come in, you tear shit down, you put it together, you talk to a customer, done. That's it. Don't steal. Don't come in fucked up. Simple. The letdown is just...
Our rule is don't come in fucked up enough for anyone to notice. Like,
yeah, everyone smokes weed. I get it.
Nobody knows. Cool. Somebody's saying something. You gotta get a little responsibility, bud.
My pants have ripped a huge hole.
Except for me melting it with
Nope.
Chris method.
No,
there was your acid spill or whatever.
Yeah, it was a very tiny hole that has now spread very largely. But, that's my amount of disappointment in this business is the people on both sides of the counter. It caused the most disappointment. It's never the government that causes disappointment. You see the government coming a mile away.
They suck. The end.
It's never billing issues, money issues. You should be able to maintain this business at a profit. As long as a thin margin of profit, I am happy. It doesn't matter. As long as all costs are met, all living expenses are met, I am happy. I don't need a bunch of money sitting in an account. I'm good. I'm fine. What pisses me off is when people work at a negative for their own self-worth that then costs the store a negative. So you get that, it's kind of rough today. I drank a lot last night. Or, I'm having some problems at home. And I'm like, all right, cool, go home then. You can do whatever you want. If you can't work, can't work. Oh, I'll stick it out. And they sit there for 2 hours on TikTok. And I'm like, did you do anything? Oh, research. Okay, the flies once. I'll give it to you once. Next time, no phones. We use it for emergencies, but no videos, no, take that shit away. And then people get, well, I just, I don't feel like working today. Like, all right, that's nail on the head. Appreciate it.
I don't feel like you being here today.
Exactly. It's hard for me to send people home because I like most of the people we end up hiring, so it's a problem. And they don't do it right off the bat. If they do it right off the bat, it's like, oh, this isn't working. Have a nice day. Pay you for a couple of days. Done. But the work ethic, I think, is the problem in the generation. It's not even just one generation. It's many. Because we've hired people from 20 years old or 17 years old all the way up to 70. All of them have the same work ethic issues. That's why they work here, because they obviously can't keep a job elsewhere. I'm starting to see that. But boy, I just want to make art. I just want to create stuff. You see that Beeple made over $200 million this year? $200 million in Beeple art.
I was going to say, isn't Beep very technically skilled, but aren't they just a shit poster technically?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of
they made
Trump MAGA stuff.
was the big titty mecha spider Trump bot or whatever.
Yeah, and then Elon Musk in a giant, like, what was it, whitey tighty underwear looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger holding a Dogecoin on a
And then they
leash.
have one of Elon breastfeeding himself as well.
Yeah, he
Just
put the
weirdest shit.
Dogecoin, him being buff with anus underwear, into a box and then gave it to a bunch of people because he minted them as NFTs. Gave it to Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, a bunch of people. Some kid went up to people and was like, "Hey, I want to show you a magic trick. Can you draw me a stick figure?" He draws a stick figure. He's like, "All right, sign your name right there, and we're going to fold this up." Puts it in his pocket. He's like, "All right, I'm going to post this, and I'll let you know how it goes." Sold it on eBay for like $60,000. Bruh. The hustle. That kid probably needs a job. Probably doesn't. Who knows? But that mindset of like, here's what I can do to make money. There's a lot of things. We work in an electronics field. You could do anything to make money here. It's a hustle. It's a grind. It's a legal hustle. Go buy for low, sell for high. Shit, we could even have people go door to door asking for their old electronics to sell. Hey, can I buy it? Okay, right here. I'm just here to buy your old electronics. You got old cell phones, tablets, etc. We're a company from Love to Fix. Blah, blah, blah. Great. Very easy. But nobody comes up with any of these ideas except for the one kid Ibrahim came up with the TikToks. And it wasn't even the ideas for the TikToks. That was mainly us. He just did the editing because we didn't have time.
Yeah.
So if we need to fill somebody in Ty's role that can do CSR work, but also just edit videos. And we could pay them $20 an hour. Boom. Just there's your shit. Just edit all these
They're
videos.
editing videos. They're also parked up front, not
Yeah.
leaving the counter abandoned.
Yeah, there's a couple of times he's almost got a snatch and grab. That switch that came in yesterday, he almost got that stolen as well, because one of the customers selling us a $5 phone kept touching it and looking at it, and I was on the prowl here looking at the cameras like, I wish a motherfucker would, because today I'm armed and I got my fast shoes on. For those who don't know, fast shoes, those are Daddy's fast shoes. Thin sole, very cushion. I'm just saying, I can catch up a lot faster than 10 feet. I may be thick, but I'm a thick boy fast. I'll run to dinner.
It'd be kind of scary though. See a big guy, you're like, there's no way he's gonna fucking.
Dude,
catch
I
me.
was so fucking close to that guy when he snatched and grabbed. I could feel the heat from his head. Yeah, when I reached out and he hopped that fence. Oh, so dumb. So dumb. Like, I'm not hopping a fence for $1,000 in phones. Fuck off. Hey, I'll find him one day. Get my due just. It's so dumb. All the shit that's going on. We've already talked about the homelessness, the economy falling to shit. It's hilarious the amount of response trolls that I'm getting from the post about how I'm genuinely saddened that this community has turned into a cesspool. Not only, you could say it's homelessness, but there's a lot of homeless people that are doing so much drugs that their mind is warped and they cause a lot of violence, vandalism, crime, and it trickles down, to all the businesses, not just Walmarts and Home Depots, but all businesses suffer. As much of damage as they're doing to city streets and property, that'll up my fucking taxes next year. I guarantee it. I'll be like,
They gotta fix all this stuff somehow. Homeless people can't pay for it.
they can't pay for anything unless they get daddy's stimulus, Let's go, Brandon. Did you see that Joe Byron said, let's go, Brandon, on Christmas?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so a caller called into the White House Christmas Day special, and he's like, oh, anything else to say? He's like, yep, Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon. Joe Byron, yeah, let's go, Brandon. I completely agree. Yeah, let's go, Brandon. What the fuck simulation are we living in? I know he's been briefed. There's no way a president gets briefed on every comedic thing that passes Twitter, YouTube, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here, this is now a derogatory term towards, hey, fuck you. That's what it is. Brandon, the NASCAR driver, put F you, Joe Biden on his car, and that's where it became let's go, Brandon is F Joe Biden. And so funny enough, he said it. And everyone's like, oh no. Even the press secretary was like, we're not going to discuss this. That was a misstep on the president's part. Everything's a misstep. And I understand, the Sleepy Joe and all that stuff. I don't think he's of a right mind at sometimes. I don't want to get into like, I'm not a Trumper, I'm not a Biden supporter. I really just don't care. I just think that some people are a bit too old to serve in office. That's all.
Didn't he have a brain degenerating cancer?
All kinds of things.
Yeah.
I don't know what's true, what's not, because I don't follow the media anymore. I didn't even turn on I haven't looked at the news sources or YouTube in forever. And then somebody told me there was a damn mask mandate in Sacramento. I was like, how the fuck? They didn't even email me. The state of California hasn't even emailed me as a business owner to say, hey, mask up. That's stupid. They expect everyone to watch the news?
They called us on the phone last time. What's
Yeah.
going on now?
There's apparently a brand new mask mandate that says that everyone indoors, vaccinated or not, has to wear a mask. Like, I was wearing a mask at Walmart the entire time, and it had this is a mask mandate for big places like that, and most of the companies held up to the mask mandates. So I understand, but then I went into Tesla yesterday, and nobody's wearing a mask. Nobody. And I understand Elon Musk puts his whole like, I'm not going to stop unvaccinated people and vaccinated people from doing what they want to do or fire them because they're not vaccinated. And then one of the workers told me that it's a real shit company if it wasn't for their stock options. Anyone who took their stock options got like a $5,000 bonus after their 1 year. I'm like, well, then they had to sell their stocks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have sold. It's $1 trillion company right now. That is a lot of money sitting in whatever portfolio you got.
Mask mandate is, previously it was for unvaccinated people only. It is now, it went from a 1 month to until further notice. It is required if you are indoor in like a public setting, and then required 100% no matter what on all school property, healthcare property, long-term tail, prisons, homeless, and then like emergency services and public transport. So they just,
this is indoor public property.
yeah,
Or not public property, but public area.
it's considered a public common area thing.
Yeah. So I thought that was wow. Because personally, I don't watch the media. I don't even turn on the TV anymore. I watch movies on Netflix,
crazy
stuff like that.
depressing shit. I don't.
It's
I don't
all.
need
It
anything
doesn't matter what
else.
side you're on, what polygon you're building. Fucking depressing. It's horrible. All politics just age you faster. So I stay away from it. I think the funny, memes of Squid Game in China is hilarious, and we'll stick to that. But there's just too much depressing shit. There's the letdowns. It's not the shutdowns, it's the letdowns in business. It's to maintain a storefront is pretty fucking hard nowadays, especially with, when I started, you didn't have to worry about homeless people breaking your shit. The homeless people were the ones that watched out for break-ins. So if you let them sleep around, they were fine. I had a homeless guy living in my store for 7 months. The switch is working. And then we got to put SMUD in the name. That way we can get the podcast up and running. It's going to be a conference table set, grass backgrounds with LED lights. It'll be nice. And then we can do more featured content. But just getting a way of doing this thing and chit-chatting and talking about our days and stupid things. Yesterday I ran around Tesla, Home Depot, fixing the bars on the windows. Then I had to deal with a show last night. And then to come to find out, D, our lovable D, is just a very penny-oriented man in his life. And, he's a decent guy, but he focuses on the very small things. Women, jewelry, how he can make his buck last for a day or two. And he's a flipper of sorts. He just grabs and goes, whatever he can. And then I talked to the main man who runs those shows, and he's like, no, because there was a broken window, and then there was a crack in one of the tiles. Somebody had dropped something. It's like, oh, what do you think it'll cost? It's like X, Y, and Z. It's like, all right, here you go. We'll be here tomorrow. Like, that's what a boss will do. They won't say, oh, we gotta cover this up, make sure like nothing's bad. That way, if anything happens, we ain't gotta pay for it. And like, just me I understand I hate spending money, but the boss mindset is so clear in other people. It's not like, oh, you a boss, like Rick Ross boss. Mm-hmm. It's I'm gonna handle the shit directly so that it doesn't turn a mound into a molehill. Yeah. And most of the time, I'd say I deal with that. Like, I'll cut it quick and easy, pay the due, order the printer, do whatever, spend the money, done. Needs to be done. There's certain things I'm like, that's not right. Or if I'm saying like I got a call from Workman's Comp yesterday about the 2019 audit. They say to reattach our 2020 info, send it back to them with our 2019 tax forms that they don't have, and that Joseph Mann and Creed will manually open it for us. That's another thing that happened while I was at Tesla. So little things like that, I drag out. And, I was thinking last night, I was like, it's procrastination. It's procrastination. No, it's delegating the exact time to throw a fit because it'll benefit you more in the long run. Somebody will squeeze or somebody will move and pivot the way you need.
Or have to loosen up.
Yeah, like I know when to put a strangle on that. When to... Not a strangle. I know when to put a clamp down on something because it's either going to cost me less money if I do so or more money if I don't. So I think that's the one thing I've gotten really good at is where to save in that sense. And that's a mindset that you have to train for through business day in, day out, dealing with loss, mitigating these shitty, dissatisfying times where you have to spend out of pocket for something. And one of those times recently was that 12 Pro Max from another company. What was it? Sell It?
Oh, Salat.
Salat.
Yeah.
If they ever see this, hey man, no hard feelings. I wasn't coming after you. Just had to tell the customer what was up. Give a little context here, Eric.
Because that was the battery puncture. Yeah. Customer went and got a screen replacement or just something simple. Phone popped open. Worked on it. Oh, your phone's damaged. We can't fix it. Close it up here. You gotta take your phone back. Customer wants their phone fixed. Brings it to us. We pop it open. The phone was sealed with a screw loose, and it had just popped into that battery, shaking the frame out. There was like 5 or 6 screws in total that were just rattling around in there, not filled in, not removed. If I've got a screw that won't go in, like literally will harm the device, I'll put it in there. Tell the customer. It's non-essential. It doesn't have to be in there. Tell them that something's missing. It may have problems in the future, but you will have more if I leave a loose screw in the battery compartment, whatever you want to call it.
He had two pressing into the battery, one on the bottom, one on the top, and 5 screws missing on top of that. And then the panels weren't screwed down. The adhesive was fucked up. There was no adhesive on the battery. It was an original battery. So I don't know if he did an OEM pull, but they paid for that battery to be replaced and never got a refund. So they recommended us because they said it was logic board after that. Great. If it is, I would tell them. It's not logic board.
Just put a battery in there. Boom, turned on.
Yep, turned on. But then he's getting no signal, which is a baseband issue, is logic board damage. Now, I can't tell him because I'd have to split that board that it would be from the drop or from tech damage. But if you short circuit or say statically charge that logic board, you could lose baseband. It's just one of the many things that can happen. Where that energy dissipates is on you. The fun part was when he called me back saying, what was it? I've been in business 15 years.
15 years, 20 years. So this is how we do it.
Or no, he asked, how long you been in business, sir? Thick accent. How long you been in business, sir? I was like, about 8 years. He's like, I've been in the business for 15, 20 years. I know more than you. This is not my fault. I was like, take the hit. Mitigate the long-term damage here by just buying this man a phone, resell that one. You make $500 off that phone, even with the damages.
Maybe paying half for a phone.
Half for a phone, and you got a happy customer that's like, you did right by me. I'll bring it back when it breaks.
They broke my stuff, but they bought me a whole new phone.
We've had to do it. I didn't do it for the first 4 years of business because I was cheap. I was absolutely cheap. I hated paying anyone for anything that I did wrong. If you came here between 2016, 2017, I'm sorry. If something got fucked up, there's probably a chance it's my fault and I didn't pay you for it. I was very cheap. But I delegated, or I determined to every customer and spoke that, hey, I am not a professional at this. This is what it is. You're paying me a bare minimum. Our prices were below minimum. We charged, iPhone X came out and the screen cost like $100. I charged like $125. It was stupid cheap. I made $25 because back then I didn't have employees, taxes, extra state bullshit, overhead was not what it is today. We have tripled our overhead, so therefore we have tripled our prices in the last 5 years. But that's inflation and other things. It's not like we're super expensive. We still charge $60 for an iPhone 7 screen, $70 for a Plus, whatever. iPhone X is $99, which is below the average in the area and Northern California.
I don't, because we also do flat labor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the varying labor that some people do. How is...
Some people think that the phone is valued at more, so their labor should be valued at more. But my philosophy is you should never discount your value or your labor for any person. You want to get them a cheaper part, offer them an alternative. You want to get them a cheaper rate, offer them an alternative for another supplier. See if you can get a price match, whatever. Do not discount yourself. That's the same thing I won't do on Yelp or Google reviews. I will not change and bow to somebody who's trying to get a discount because they hit us with a 2-star review and like, their prices are kind of high, and then message me for a review update. Now I'm gonna flag the shit. I'm gonna contact whoever it is, let them know that they're trying to extort money, discounts from me. Is what it is. Now, if somebody's got a shitty experience and I really feel like we did our absolute best and gave them all the information, I'm gonna fight that one. I'm gonna let you know my opinion. But on the ones where we fucked up, I've said, hey, I'm sorry. Give us another chance, or here's your refund, etc.
Stomach coming back on in, would love to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, we're not assholes. I can be an asshole if you come off being an asshole to me, though. I'm very receptive.
We match the energy of
exactly
what is brought in.
And
Super cool dude came in the other day. Little discount.
Oh no, I gave him half off his screener. Yeah,
fat discount.
He was having a kid. He was. I understand the cost of a kid. I was like, man, put that towards your daughter. You're having a girl. Put that towards your daughter. Here you go, half off. Cost is on me. Sometimes I'll be very frivolous and give somebody a discount, give them something for free. Then we had the lady that begged to lick our toes to get her son a Switch. I was like, you only have $400 to buy a Switch and a PlayStation 4 and a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
So that's $300 less than what it is. And all of a sudden, she was like, oh no, I'm going to lick your toes.
And it wasn't offering to lick all our toes. It was begging to lick all of our toes.
Demanding, yeah. I don't understand people nowadays. If that has ever worked on a single person, that is a problem. That is a gross problem.
Had to have worked on someone somewhere. Not us, not here.
Thank God. And for that, we'll leave it off, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Think about it. Hit that button. What is it?
Like, subscribe, ring that bell.
Ring that bell. Ding, 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 ding.
Comment, share.